السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب زدني علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. I welcome you all to the class of دروس اللغة العربية لغير ناطقين بها. And inshallah ta'ala, today we are continuing with our lesson 17, form 4. And in the previous lesson, we learned about form 2, fa'ala. This is form 2, right? Like darrasa. And in this lesson, we are learning that hamza of ta'diya, right? Af'ala. Af'ala. And in the mudari, you drop the hamza, okay? It runs away. Yuf'ilu. Like aslama, yuslimu. Aslama, yuslimu, aslim. But in the amr, it comes back, right? In the amr, it comes back, aslim. Aslim. Right? Aslama, yuslimu, aslim. And Islam is the masdar, bab if'al. Islam, bab if'al. Now, so let's continue. We read 2 pages of this lesson, right? Asbaha, yusbihu, awsaka, yushiku, all those verbs. Inshallah, let's continue from here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Iqra'il ayatayn ya Harun. Read the 2 verses, O Harun. Harun says, Ba'd al-isti'adhati wal-basmalati. After saying, A'udhu billah and Bismillah. Isti'adha, ista'adha, yasta'idhu. The masdar isti'adhatun. Form 10. And basmala is form, it's rubai. It's a 4-letter verb. 4-letter. Basmala, you basmilu. So mujarrad is 4 letters. Form 1 of 4-letter verbs. Mujarrad rubai. Basmala, you basmilu. Basmalatun is the masdar. That is saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Basmala, you basmilu. Basmalatun. Okay, like tarjama, you tarjimu, tarjamatun. Inshallah, we have a lesson 26 for rubai. يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم ويأبى الله إلا أن يتم نوره ولو كره الكافرون هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. This is the verse Tawbah, verse 32 and 33. يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله. They want to extinguish the light of Allah. Bi afwahihim. The singular is famun, by the way. Famun. Famun, the plural is afwah. Right? Famun, the plural is afwah. Yuriduna. So they want to do what? An yutfi'u. And this was yutfi'una, right? An became mansub. And yutfi'u is mafulun bihi. Nur Allahi. Yuriduna atfa'a yutfi'u from 4. Extinguish. Bi afwahihim, by their mouths. Wa ya'aba Allah. Aba is to reject, refuse. And Allah refused. Illa an yutimma nurahu. Except that He completes. Atamma yutimmu. Atamma yutimmu is also from 4, but you have like muda'af also. It has the 2 memes. Atamma yutimmu. Hajja yahujju, like hajja yahujju, but that was 3 letters. This is atmama yutmimu. And those 2 memes join. An yutimma nurahu, that He completes His light. Walau karihal kafirun, even though. Walau is what? Even though. Walau karihal kafirun. Walau karihal kafirun. Even though the disbelievers hate it, detest it. Kariha is to dislike or hate. Kariha yakrahu. Huwa alladhi arsala rasulahu bil huda. He is the one who sent. Arsala yursilu from 4. Rasulahu, His messenger, with guidance. Bil huda. Hada yahdi, masdar is huda. Huwa alladhi arsala rasulahu bil huda. He is the one who sent His messenger. Rasulahu, right? Mafulun bihi. Wadeen al-Haqi, and the religion of truth. Religion of truth. Wadeen al-Haqi. Bil Huda, and Jal majrur again, wa bi deen al-haqqi. That's why this is also majrur, because huda is majrur. Huh? We cannot see the jar because this is manqus. We say kasratin muqaddara majrur wa alamatu jarrihi kasratun muqaddara. Right? If you remember the first lesson, Musa, Musa, Musa. Liyudhirahu. Why did he send his messenger with guidance in the religion of truth? Liyudhirahu. Adhara yudhiru. To make it apparent. Right? To make it zahir. Liyudhirahu. So that he can make it clear. Ala dini kulli. On the religion kulli. So let's see the translation of this. On the religion kullihi. How did they translate? Because this Zamir is going back to what? So they translated bil huda wal yudhhira ala dini, making it ala dini kulli. Here deen means all religions, not singular. This means all religions, making it prevail over all others, all religion, because this kullihi means it's going to all religions. Although the plural is not used, adyan, singular is used. Ala dini kullihi, over all religions. Walau karihal mushrikun. Even though, walau means even though the mushriks, the ones who associate partners with Allah, dislike it. They hate it, even to the dismay of the polytheists. So al-dini kulli, plural is not used because kullihi, they translate it as plural. Then the mudarris says fakkiru, fakkara yufakkiru, tafkir, form 2 again. Fakkiru amr, right? Fakkiru, ponder, think. Fi hatayn al-ayatayn, in these two verses. So hadihi, hatani became hataini. Right? These two verses, ayataini. Thumma ajibu anil as'ilatil muwajjahati ilaykum. Then answer. Thumma is what? Then answer the questions directed. Muwajjaha, wajjaha, yuwajjihu. Answers directed to you. Answers directed to you. Muwajjaha, ismul maf'ul, right? Muwajjaha, yuwajjihu. What is ismul fa'il? Muwajjih, like mudarris. And muwajjah is the ismul maf'ul. Ismul maf'ul from form 2. Mufa'al. Mufa'il, mufa'al. Muwajjahati ilaykum. Wajjaha yuwajjihu, to direct, to address. So answer the address questions to you. Mada yuridu al-kuffaru ya Idrisu. Ajaba yujibu is also form 4. So many form 4s. Mada yuridu al-kuffaru ya Idris. What do the kuffar want, O Idris? And the disbelievers want. Yuriduna itfa'a nurillahi. They want to extinguish the light of Allah. This is masdar, itfa. Yuriduna itfa'a nurillahi. Al-Mudarrisu says they want to extinguish the light of Allah. Yumkinu hadha ya Aliyu. Is this possible? Amkana yumkinu. Amkana yumkinu, form 4 again. Bab if'al. Is this possible, O Ali? La lihada. La lahada mustahilun. La lahada mustahilun. No, this is impossible. Now, what is this lahada? This is called lam of ibtida'. Lam of ibtida'. This is also used for ta'keed. Lahada. This is not harfu jar. Lamul ibtida'. Another rule which you are learning in this lesson. Lamul ibtida'. Right? Lamul ibtida', like hadha baytun. Hadha baytun. This is a house. Now, I want to add a little bit of emphasis, because that person is saying, no, this is a masjid. This is not a house. It doesn't agree with you. So say, la hadha baytun. Right? La hadha baytun. This lam is called ibtida'. It is emphasis. Now, even then, he's not agreeing. No, he's saying, this is surely a masjid. How can you say this is a house? So we use inna. Inna. Now this lam, right? Muzhalaqa, it will go to the khabar, right? Skating lam, like we learned in book 2. Inna hadha la baytun. So lam mubtada, inna pushed it away, and this became a skating lam. Right? It went to the khabar. Inna hadha la baytun. Indeed. So this is, although we cannot translate literally, indeed, this is indeed house. I mean, we can, but this is double emphasis. Or you can use qasam also. Wallahi inna hadha la baytun. Wallahi qasam. So there are different levels of emphasis in the language, and we generally do not understand emphasis in English or in our native languages. Generally the emphasis is just raising the voice. He just raises his voice, but without raising a voice, how do you show emphasis? Right? I'm not lying. Right? I mean, if I raise my voice, that is emphasis. For sure I'm not lying. Indeed I'm not lying. Yeah, that's there in the language, but we don't appreciate a lot emphasis of that, right? In la hadha mustahilun. La hadha. This is lam. It does not affect, it's not amil. It does not change the i'rab or whatever it is. But this is, this is lam of ibtida. La hadha mustahil. By the mustahil, for sure, this is mustahilun. Istahilu is to be impossible. Mustahil is form 10, ismul fa'il from form 10. Indeed, it is impossible. Istahala, mustahil. It is impossible. وَمَاذَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ يَا يُونُسُ. And what does Allah want, O Yunus? يُرِيدُ إِتْمَامَ نُورِهِ. وَمَاذَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ يَا يُونُس. يُرِيدُ إِتْمَامَ نُورِهِ. He wants to complete his light. He wants to complete his light. Itmam, atamma yutimmu. The master, you'll do infikak. You'll separate the memes. So it becomes itmam. The two memes, itmam. So atamma yutimmu, the master is itmam. And the ismul fa'il is mutimmun. Mutimmun. Wallahu mutimmu nurihi. Itmam. Al-Mudarrisu says, the teacher says, أتذكر آية أخرى في هذا المعنى يا شعيب. أتذكر آية أخرى في هذا المعنى يا شعيب. Do you remember? ذكر يذكر. Do you remember any other words? Right? Another verse. آخر, the feminine is أخرى, because it is feminine, right? في هذا المعنى, in this meaning. Oh, شعيب. He gave a kasra. It should be a fatha. Right? شعيب. Shu'aib says, Na'am, qala ta'ala. Do you remember any other words in this meaning? Qala ta'ala fi surah as-Saff. Allah said in surah as-Saff, Wallahu mutimmu nurihi walau karihal kafirun. And Allah will complete his nur, even though the disbelievers dislike it. I hope it is clear, inshallah, everything here. Yeah. So mutimmu is the ismul fa'il from atamma yutimmu, mutim. Al-Mudarrisu, the teacher says, Bima arsalallahu rasulahu ya Muhammadu. With what arsala yursilu, from 4 again. With what Allah sent his messenger, O Muhammadu. Arsalahu bil huda wa dinil haqqi. He sent him with guidance, huda, hidayah. وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ, and the religion of truth. Okay, so this was all about the lesson. We learned lam of ibtida. Lam of ibtida. And when inna comes, this same lam of ibtida will become lam of muzhalaqa. Lam of muzhalaqa. It's called lam muzhalaqa. Halaqa is to shift all. Lam muzhalaqa. Okay. All right. Naam. Here that is sent. Yadkhulu Ishaq. Ishaq enters. Ishaq enters. Al-ana ta'ti wa qad awshaka ad-darsu an yantahiya. Al-ana ta'ati, now you're coming. Waqad, and surely. Awshaka, about to. Awshaka is about to. The lesson is about to. An yantahiya, to end. So this is awshaka yushiku. It's also like kada wa akhawatuha. So we have inna wa akhawatuha, right? Inna wa akhawatuha. Inna and its sisters. Then we have kana wa akhawatuha, kana and its sisters. Then you have dhanna wa akhawatuha. Dhanna and the who take two mafulun bi, dhanna wa akhawatuha. We don't learn zanna in this book, I think. As well as we have kada wa akhawatuha. Kada, about to, about to. And kada wa akhawatuha, about to, they're divided into several. Some books do that. They say one is af'alu shuru, like jala, akhada, to begin, shala, to begin. Then we have this af'alul muqaraba. This all come under kada wa akhwatuha. Af'al al muqaraba, that is something is about to happen. And we learn kada. In that we have af'alul muqaraba. Muqaraba means something is about to. Awshaka is also min bab min af'al al muqaraba. Something is about to happen. And there are two more. I don't remember them. Shudu, muqaraba, and like tafiqa is shudu, starting, and muqaraba. And that's something two more, which some people bring it in. Kada wa akhwatuha. Three types, I believe. Anyways, we don't learn kada wa akhwatuha, but as such, but other books bring it. But awshaka is something like this. Awshaka. Right? Awshaka hamidun. And it is mandatory that you bring the khabar of awshaka. So you say, this is ismu awshaka. Yeah. Awshaka hamidun an yajlisa. We learned kada. Remember, if you remember kada, kadal jarasu yarinnu. There was no need to bring an. Okay. But awshaka has this rule. Don't know why. We have to bring an. Awshaka hamidun an yajlisa. Hamid was about to sit. Huh? So this also makes it. So this is called khabar of isma of awshaka, and this is an yajlisa masdar muawwal. This is khabar of awshaka. Awshaka. Like the rain is about, the rain is about to rain. Awshakal mataru. The rain is about to descend. An yanzila. Awshakal mataru an yanzila. We can use yushiku also. Yushiku tullabu. The students are. So this is was, by the way. I'm translating it incorrectly. The rain was about to descend. Nah, but we can maybe translate as is also, maybe depending on the context. I don't know. Yushiku atullabu, and the students are about to yakhruju. The students are about to. So this is awshaka yushiku. Awshaka yushiku. It comes few times in the Quran, from what I remember. Awshaka yushiku. I'm not sure if awshaka is it there in the Quran. Awshaka. Okay. Okay. So this is awshaka. So al-ana ta'ati, now are you coming? Waqad awshaka darsu, and the lesson was about to finish. An yantahiya, because he used mudare here, we translate the whole sentence as present tense. And intaha yantahi. Intaha yantahi, this is form 8. It looks like form 7, but we'll learn inshallah. How do we know it's form 8? Because intaha, if you think, because form 7 will have in the beginning, right? In the beginning. And if you think it is form 7, then taha is there's no verb called taha. Okay, so this is a confusion. Many times it happens. He has an exercise for this, inshallah, when it comes. But intaha is form 8, because if you remove the alif and the ta, we have a verb nahyun, naha yanha, to prohibit. Intaha is to end. So this is form 8. Although it looks like 7, huh? That's delusion. An yantahiya. أوشك الدرس أن ينتهي. The lesson is about to finish. I mean, he's coming so late. معذرة يا أستاذ. معذرة يا أستاذ. I'm sorry. معذرة. Why is this mansub? We learn this is مفعول مطلق. Absolute. Maybe not in this lesson. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu from Netherlands. Barakallah fi. Ma'adhiratan ya ustadu. We'll give a brief instruction. Maf'ul mutlaq is absolute object, like shukran. I'm from India. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Barakallah fi. Shukran. Shukran, right? Shukran. This is called maf'ul mutlaq. What is maf'ul mutlaq? Maf'ul mutlaq is the master of the previous verb. Previous verb. Of a previous verb. It is brought for various reasons. It is brought for emphasis, as well as, I remember emphasis now. Maf'ulun mutlaq litta'kid, as well as it is brought for libayan in now, to show the type. So the type of it. Libayan in now, as well as there's one more. I don't remember. It'll come inshallah. Like ashkuruka. And sometimes you can delete the verb. I thank you. Shukran. Ashkuruka shukran. That means I thank you, thank you. In English, we don't have maf'ulun mutlaq, right? So we cannot really translate properly. Ashkuruka shukran, matlab it's you're giving ta'kid, you're emphasizing. Ashkuruka shukran. So so nobody uses ashkuruka, we just say shukran. We delete the verb. So same thing, a'tadhiru ma'adhiratan. A'tadhiru, we don't say a'tadhiru, I'm asking you forgiveness, a good forgiveness. Warattil al-Qur'ana tartila. And recite the Quran with a good recitation. Tartila. Tartil is the master. So what is maf'ulun mutlaq? A master of the previous verb. Not necessarily of the previous verb, but it could be a master of the same type, same forms. Warattil Qur'ana tartila. Inshallah, we'll learn when it comes absolute object. Now it is also mansub. There are 5 maf'uls. Maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun ma'ahu, maf'ulun lahu. If you remember the first lesson, maf'ulun mutlaq, the absolute object. And we have one more. I don't remember now. Maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun fihi, maf'ulun ma'ahu, maf'ulun lahu, maf'ulun mutlaq. Yeah, 5 of them. Khamsatu mafa'il. Maf'ulun bihi is the object, the action on whom whom you can see the action, like Hamid hit Zaid. That is maf'ulun bihi. In what time and place is zarf. Maf'ulun fihi is zarf. Maf'ulun mahu, does it happen along with someone? Right? Is the action along with something? So that is maf'ulun mahu. Does it happen for a reason? Maf'ulun li ajalihi or maf'ulun lahu. And maf'ulun mutlaq, do you want to bring emphasis on the action? Right? 5 objects, right? The object, the time. Is there anything else with it along something? And is there a reason? And 5th one is, do you want to emphasize the statement? Now, ma'adhiratan ya ustadhu, dhahabtu, this is maf'ulun mutlaq. Dhahabtu ila maktabil badidi. So why did he come late? I went to the post office. Li irsali barqiyatin, to send. Arsala yursilu masdar, to send a telegram. So he's writing a telegram. فَقَدْ وَصَلَ أَخِي الْبَارِحَةَ. My brother, surely, my brother has arrived. Surely my brother has arrived last night. فَأَرْسَلْتُ بَرْقِيَّةً إِلَى أَبِي. So I sent a telegram to my father. أُخْبِرُهُ فِيهَا بِسَلَامَةِ وُصُولِهِ. To inform him. أخبر يخبر. From 4 again. إخبار. To inform him in it. بِسَلَامَةِ وُصُولِهِ. Of his salama is peaceful arrival. وُصُولِهِ. Salama is with safety. Safe arrival. Salama, safe arrival. Wasala yasilu, the master is wusul. The mudarris says la basa, no problem. No problem, I forgive you. Ajib anil asilat al-atiya. So this was the lesson, right? Inshallah. Don't worry. We have a lot of exercises for, like we had for Form 2 for practice. Inshallah, we have for Form 4 also, where we practice the Form 4 and you'll get used to it, inshallah. So every form, just focus on that form and write it down. I would recommend and practice it, because morphology, sarf is all about practice, practice, practice. It's not more about understanding, where it's all about practice. Lima mumarasa. Lima lam yahdur Uthmanu. Why didn't Uthman come? لم يحضر عثمان لأنه مصاب بإسهال شديد. Uthman did not come because he was suffering from musab. He was suffering from severe diarrhea. Right? Ishal, ashala, easy, diarrhea. He was suffering from severe diarrhea. Mata aslama Muhammadun. When did Muhammad accept Islam? Aslama yuslimu Islaman. When did he accept Islam? Aslama ama 1981. Ama wahidin wa thamanin wa tis'imiya wa alfin lil miladi. Wahidin is 1, thamanin 80. And ama mudaf ilayhi for ama, so majrur, all of them will be majrur. Wahidin wa thamanin wa tis'imiyatin, 900. So 180 and 900 wa alfin lil miladi, and 1000 for miladi, and that is Christian era. Lima ta'akhara Ishaq. Why was Ishaq late? Why did he delay? تأخر إسحاق لأنه ذهب إلى مكتب البريد لإرسال برقية, to send a برقية, telegram. Okay. نعم الحمد لله. This was the lesson and its questions. من أبواب الفعل الثلاثي المزيد. From the abwab, from the chapters of فعل ثلاثي مزيد, from the types of فعل ثلاثي مزيد, باب أفعل. This is all ثلاثي مزيد, right? This is not ثلاثي مجرد. ثلاثي مجرد are the form 1, right? 3 types. I mean, all the 6 types. باب فتح, سمع, ذهب, فتح, and what else? نصر, حسب, and karuma. This is ثلاثي مزيد, and this is form 4. باب إفعال, باب أفعل. باب أفعل زيدت في أوله حمزة. زيد, زاد, يزيد is to increase. زيد is the passive. Like قال يقول, what's the passive for قال يقول? قيل. You make it ya, because it was literally قُوِلَ, because فُعِلَ, right? And the waw became a ya, and we shifted the kasra. زيدت في أوله الحمزة. Be increased in its beginning al-hamza. So in form 2, we doubled the ain kalima. Right? Darasa, to study. This is, we doubled the ain kalima. We didn't bring a foreign particle, yeah, a foreign letter. This was internal strengthening. Darasa. We didn't bring any outsider. But here, this guy is coming, the mean guy, the mean hamza. Aslama, right? Salima, it becomes aslama. Salima is to be safe. Aslama, to accept Islam. Aslama, we bring this hamza guy, because it will come back in amra. It will not run away. In mudara, it has to run away because it was difficult. Ta'ammal al-mithalaini li bab af'ala. Ponder. Ta'ammala yatammalu, form 5. The 2 examples for bab af'ala. ثم هات المضارع والمصدر من الأفعال التي تليهما. Then give the mudari and the masdar from the verbs which follow. تليهما, which follow them both. So he has 2 examples. أرسل, to send. يرسل, he's sending out. Al-masdar إرسال, إرسال الرسل, إرسال, sending. Aslama, to accept Islam. Yuslimu, Islamun. So you can help me with this. أغلق. Wa alaikum assalam. Aghlaqa, to lock. So the mudara is yughliqu. Remember, it was literally yughliqu, but we dropped the hamza. So yughliqu, Because once you look at this, you'll think this is a 3-letter verb. Now you'll think that is form 1. Now, never. Look at the Dhamma. Remember, form 2, 3, 4. All these take a Dhamma in the Mudare. So this Dhamma and a Kasra is giving it away, because if it was Dhamma and passive, so passive, it should be a Fatha, right? The second last letter should have a Fatha in Mudare. It's not a Fatha. So this Dhamma and this Kasra gives it away. يغلق. يغلق, and the masdar is إغلاق. 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 أخبر, to inform. يخبر. يخبر. يخبر, and this is what? إخبار. إخبار. It's not أخبار, huh? Khabar plural is akhbar, that is news. Ikhbar is informing someone. Ikhbar. Altfa'a. Yudfi'u. Yudfi'u. Itfa'un. You can see the answers. I mean, itfa'un. Yeah, here. Atfa yudfi'u, itfa'un. Atfa'a yudfi'u, to extinguish. Atfa'a, to extinguish something. Ajaba. This is ajaba. Ajaba. This is form 4 as well as it is ajwaf. You see, it has an alif in between, the hollow verb. Ajaba. So what you do in the mudari, you change this alif to a ya. Yujibu. 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 This alif will come back in the passive. He doesn't teach passive here, but yujabu. Yujabu, it is being answered. The alif will come back, okay? Because when you give a fatha, change it to an alif. If it's a kasra before it, change it to a ya. Ajaba yujibu, to answer. And ijabatun is the masdar you give. Asluhu ijwabun. The aslu was ijwabun. They gave a ta madbuta to it. So if it is ajaba yujibu, ijabatun. Because ijabun was not sounding correct, so they gave a ta marbuta, ijabatun. Aqama. So this mudare will be yuqimu, yeah. Yuqimu, to establish. Aqim as-salah. Aqim as-salata li dhikri. Iqamatun. Give a ta marbuta also. This is ajwaf plus form 4. No, weak verb plus form 4. So in all these, you have again all the weak verbs. If you go back to the conjugation PDF, you'll find all of them. No. So don't worry so much about this. Many books, what they do is they go into this into very deeply, and they give rules, and this is why it happened, and all those things, and it becomes very complicated. So you have to learn form 1, all the 7 types of form 1, 7 plus 6 actually, because you have abwab also, no? 13 types of form 1. Then form 2, you learn 7 types of form 2. You see, like sahih, muda'af, then you have what? Mithal, ajwaf, naqis, lafif maqdun, lafif mafruq. All this 7 types. And then teach form 3 and 7 types. Form 4, 7 types. How can a person learn so many? It's okay. I mean, you just learn aqama, you'll get used to it. Huh? Don't worry about so much. And then you have muda'af also, right? Muda'af also. Muda'af. Atamma, yutimmu. There are few changes here and there, but the basic structure is the same. Because once you look at this, you might get confused that this doesn't look like form 4. Atmama. Remember, it is atmama. And this is also yutmimu, like aslama, yuslimu. Because mama came, they did the idgham of the memes and become atamma, yutimmu. Now, I don't mean the tajweed idgham, by the way. I mean joining of the literal meaning of idgham. Atamma yutimmu, to complete. And this is infikak meme. The memes are broken apart. In itmamun, you can see the masdar. So you can help me add that. This is very common verb from what I notice. Addallahu lil kafirin adhaban alima. To prepare. Adda is to prepare. So the mudara is what? Yu'iddu, to prepare. Very common, eh? I've noticed so many times. Adda. Adda, yu'iddu. And the masdar is you open up the dals. I'dad, preparation. Right? Like adda, i'dadun, to prepare. I'dadu ta'am, preparing food. Adda yu'iddu. Adda Allahu lil kafirina adaban alima. Allah has prepared for them. Alqa. Oh, this was ajwa fine. Alqa. Again, some changes. Mudare, there's no change as such. Yulqi. Right? This is a ya, by the way. It doesn't give the dots. Yulqi. Alqa yulqi. Now, remember, it's not laqiya yalqa. Laqiya is to meet. Alqa is to throw. Right? Alqa. And the masdar is ilqa'un. Because it is a ya, it was literally ilqa'yun. And when you have a weak letter, that is a waw or a ya, you change that into a hamza for easier reading. Ilqa'un. Ilqa'un is throwing, the act of throwing. Laqiya is to meet, alqa is to throw. And talaqqa is to receive. Form 5 will learn talaqqaytu minka risalatan. I received from you a letter. So many meanings. Laqiya, yalqa, talaqqa. Form 5. Amana. Again, this doesn't look like form 4. It is the most common after khala, I believe. Or it's in the 4th or 5th place. Amana. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Amana. This was actually amana. And the hamza will come back. Yu'minu. Yu'minu. And the masdar is imanun. It was literally i'manun. I'manun. So difficult to say. Just change it into a ya. Imanun. Imanun. You can see the answers here. Amana yu'minu imanun. So in right, amana amantu amanna. And then yu'minu yu'minuna, tu'minu, and all that. Aujaba. Aujaba is to make something mandatory, I believe. Aujaba yujibu. Aujaba yujibu. So aujaba, to enjoin, yeah. Aujaballahu lana as-salata. Aujaba. Allah has made it mandatory on, enjoined on us as-salah. Ijabun. So yujibu. Yujibu. This has a wow. This is like a mithal, no? Aujaba yujibu. Yujibu. And then ivjabun. See, if. Kasra and wow, sakina, and before that, if it has, please write it here. Yujibu. Yujibu. Yujibu ijabun. Ijab. Ijabu salah. It was ivjabun, the wow, sakina, and it's called, we can call it the Mizan rule. Mizan was actually mivzan. We'll learn it sarf someday when we do sarf, inshallah. Mivzan. So because wow sakina before that it is a kasra, you change that into a Mizan. Ma fahimtu. What did you understand? Ivjab became, how did it become ijab? Which one? If there's a waw sakina, if it has a sukun, and the previous letter has a kasra, you will change that into a ya for easier reading. Ivjab became ijab. Okay. So aujaba, yujibu. Okay. Now, I hope it is clear, inshallah. All right. Now, تأمل طريقة صوغ الأمر من باب أفعل من باب أفعل. Now, this is fine, right? This is fine. We learn madi, mudara, and masdar. I do not understand the meaning altogether, even in English. Aujaba is to make something mandatory. Aujaba, wajib, to make something wajib, to make something obligatory. Like Aujaballahu lil mu'minina as-salat. Aujaballahu salata lil mu'minin. Allah has made it mandatory. Allah has enjoined on the believers of salah to make something wajib. Okay, now alhamdulillah. أتأمل طريقة صوغ الأمر. صاغ is to form. The masdar is صوغ. Ponder on the meaning, not the meaning, the way of forming the amr from bab af'ala. So how do you make? Remember, the hamza comes back in amr, and this is the only amr where you have hamzatul qata, because we remember two hamzas, right? This is hamzatul wasl. You write it like this, or you write a sad on top of it. Okay, like al this and ibnun wasl and amrun, right? Idhab ila fir'aun. This is all hamzatul was. All amrs are hamzatul was except form 4. So aslama, aslim, accept Islam. Aslim tuslam, accept Islam and you will be safe. Aslama yuslimu, aslim. This is hamzatul qata. This is very important because this is the only form which has the hamzatul. So you won't say waslim. No, you'll stop and read it wa aslim. Thumma sughil amra min al-af'al, and then form the verbs, for following verbs. Amr, command, make fi'l amr from the following verbs. Yursilu, asluhu, yuarsilu. So he's teaching us the mudare actually was with the hamza, asluhu. Then hamza ran away. Hudifat minhu al-hamzatu. The hamza was omitted from it. Hadafa is to omit, right? This is passive, by the way. وَيُصَاغُ الْأَمْرُ مِنَ الصِّيغَةِ الْأَصْلِيَّةِ. And the amr is formed from the original form. Sigha is the form or from the original letters. Okay, so remember, in the amr, the hamza comes back. So tursilu, how do you make amr? You do chop, right? Chop this, and bring a hamza, but not the hamzatul wasl. We already have a hamza, right? Hamzatul qata, arsil, right? Arsil. So tu arsilu, asluhu tu arsilu. So chop this and chop this. So arsil, that's what it's remain, right? Arsil, send. Arsil ma'ana, send with us. Arsil. So tughliqu. So he wants us to write the asluhu also. So we can write tughliqu was actually tu aghliqu. Bring the hamza back. This was his asl. And then you chop two things. No need to bring hamzatul wasl. Chop the dhamma and the ta. So it'll become aghliq. Aghliq. Oh, sorry. Aghliq. Aghliq al-bab. By the way, aghlaqa, this form 2 also, no? Ghallaqa, to close all the doors. Wa ghallaqatil abwab. Yusuf alayhi salam, that the lady, she closed all the doors. Ghallaqatil abwab. Then we have tuslimu. This was actually tu aslimu, and it becomes aslim. You can see the answers for this. Please practice it. Aslim, right? Aslim, accept Islam. Aslim. Naam, aslim. Naam. And then tu'iddu. Tu'iddu. Remember? Tu'iddu. Now this is a change. If you remember, we learned in book 2. Hajja yahujju. Hajja yahujju. What is the amr for hajja yahujju? Can anyone tell me? Hajja yahujju. What is the amr? Do hajj. Anta. Do hajj. How do you say? We've learned 2 ways. Hajjaja? No. Anyone? Book 2. Book 2 graduates. Anyone? Don't remember? Hajja? Hajja? No. Hajja is the past tense verb. Amr for hajja. Repeat the question. How do we make the amr for hajja yahujju? Hajja yahujju. And there are two ways of doing that. One is a common and the other one is not that common. Ahujja. No. Ahujja is I'm doing Hajj. Ahujju. I'm doing Hajj. Hujja. Give Dhamma. Hujja. Hujja is Amr. Give a Fatha. So you chop this and give a Dhamma to the first letter. Hujja and Fatha to Hujja. Do Hajj. And the other way is the normal way. Right? Uhjuj. You'll open up the Jims. Uhjuj. This is uncommon, by the way. Hujja is more common. We give it a Fatha. Okay. And if you remember, Yahujju, right? Yahujju, how do you make it Majzoom? You give it a Fatha. Lam Yahujja. Lam Yahujja. He did not. We don't give a sukun. Although if you can give a sukun. Ya Hujja, Uhjuj. Lam Yahujja. Majzoom, instead of sukun, you give a Fatha because you joined the two Jeems and you give a Fatha. You can also say Lam Yahjuj, but you have to open up the Jeems. Lam Yahjuj. He did not do Hajj. We learned in lesson 28, I believe, of Madina book 2. Similarly here, tu'iddu, it was literally, because it is muda'af, right? Two dals. Tu'iddu, right? It was with a hamza. And then you chop this, there are two dals here. Adid. It should have literally been Adid, right? Aslim. And then we join the two dals and give a fatha. A'idda. Prepare. A'idda. Prepare for us. A'idda lana ta'aman. Prepare for us food. This is not adda ya'uddu, by the way. Adda ya'uddu is to count. Adda yu'iddu is to prepare. Adda. Like we are counting. Ta'adid is to prepare. A'idda, you give a fatha like hujja. Fatha. Majzoom actually. Udda. Udda is to count. Yes. Amr is udda. Yes. Udda lana hadhihi al-kutub. Right. Count for us these books. Udda. Amr. Udud it was. And then you made it udda also. Hujja, udda. Okay. Now, you give a fatha, right? Remember all those idghams. I mean, what do you call this? Muda'af. Whenever they come, you give a fatha when it is majzoom. Huh? Because adid, you give a fatha to identify that it is majzoom. This fatha tells us that it was majzoom before. Okay, tu'minu and then amin. Amin. Amin, you join the two hamzas and then it becomes amin. Believe. Aminu billahi wa rasulihi. Amin. And then we have amin. Tujibu, ajaba, yujibu. Again, we drop here. So this was what? There are two things happening here. To ajibu, it was originally to ajibu. Then you chop this and give this a sukoon. But ya already has a sukoon. So you drop the ya also, right? So it becomes ajib. 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 And this is what we learned in book 1. Ajib anil as'ilatil atiyati. Answer the following questions. How was it formed? Today we learned ajib. Ajib anil as'ilatil atiyati. Answer the following question. It was literally ajib, not ajib. Ajib is ain. This is ajib. The ya dropped because iltaqaw sakinain. Two sukoons are forming. Okay, form ismul fa'il from the verbs given below. And next we are learning ismul fa'il. Very easy. How do you make ismul fa'il? Change the u to a mu and give tanween, right? So aslama yuslimu muslimun. Very easy. Ismul fa'il. Who's the one who's accepting Islam? Muslimun. Arsala yursilu mursilun. Who's the one who's sending someone? Mursil. Mursil. Ajib lil mudhakkar, ajibi lil muannath. Naam. Ajib, ajib. The ya will come back, by the way. Yes, you're right. Like qul, qula, qulu, quli, qula, qulna. Similarly, ajib, ajiba, ajibu. Ajibu da'i Allah. In the Quran, ajibu, answer the caller to Allah. Ajibu, ajibi, ajiba, ajibna. Amana yu'minu mu'min. Ismul fa'il, the one who's believing. Adara yudiru, to run something. Mudir, right? Principal. Mudir, director. Ahrama yuhrimu, ihram. Muhrim, muhrim. Muhrimun is the pilgrim. Amkana yumkinu, mumkin. Mumkin, to be possible. Something is possible. Hada mumkinun wa hada la yumkin. غير ممكن. أتم يتم متم. متم. There's an idgham, right? Of the memes. The joined mudaf. أتم يتم متم. The completer. ألقى يلقي. This is really manqus, if you remember lesson 1. Mulqin. Like qadin. And if you bring alif lam, it will become al-mulqi, the one who's throwing. Because anytime you have ya, which is ending like mulqiyun, you'll change it to mulqin. You'll drop the ya. Mulqin, like qadin. If you bring the alif lam, then it'll become al-qadi, al-mulqi, manqus. All right, you can see the answers also here. Muslim, mursil, mu'min, mudir, muhrim, mumkin, mutimmun, and mulqin, al-mulqi. Mulqin, al-mulqi. Then we have same thing for ismul maf'ul. Very easy. Same like ismul fa'il, but give fatha to the previous letter. Second last letter. Aghlaqa yughliqu, mughlaqun. Closed. The thing is closed. Mughliq is the one who's closing, and the door is closed. Al-babu mughlaqun. Book 1 we learned, right? Al-babu mughlaqun. A'raba yu'ribu. Mu'rab. Araba, grammatically speaking, is to give i'rab. So the thing which accepts i'rab is called mu'rab, right? Al-ismu, if you remember book lesson 1, al-ismu imma mu'rabun wa imma mabniyun. Ism is either mu'rab or mabni. It is mu'rab. Mu'rab means it accepts Muhammadun, then din, mu'rab. Yes, mu'rab. Araba. Araba shay. Case endings, eh? It's called Arab, grammatically speaking. A'adda yu'iddu. Can anyone tell me this? The thing is prepared. The prepared food. Mu'addun, yeah? Mu'addun. Mu'addun. At-ta'amu mu'addun. At-ta'amu al-mu'addu. Prepared food. Muad. Okay. Naam. Muad. Akraha yukrihu. To force someone. So the one who's forced, or the one who's forced. Mukraha. Compelled. Like ana mukrahun. I am compelled. Ana mukrahun li something. I am forced to do this. Yeah. Mukrah. Mukrih is the forcer, the one who's compelling you to do. Ajaba yu'jibu. Ajaba yu'jibu, to amaze someone. The thing being amazed, or the person being amazed, mu'jab. 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 I'jab, to be amazed. Like, so ajabani Zaidun, Zaid amazed me. So Zaid is amazing me. So Zaid is mu'jib, and I am mu'jab. I am amazed, right? Asaba yusibu, to be afflicted, right? Asaba yusibu. Musabun. Now, so ismul fa'il will be with a ya. Musib, the afflictor, and the afflicted will be musab. We'll change it ya to an alif, right? Like akhama yuqim, muqim, muqam. Muqim, muqam. To be afflicted. All right. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Then we have, we'll do this next class, inshallah ta'ala. So we have, what do we have? We have all those exercises. We have a practice for that. Naam, inshallah. And we need to learn about a'ta. A'ta's exercises. Then walaw's exercise, even though he gives some verses. And this lam of ibtida. He gives examples for lam of ibtida. And then asbaha's examples, awsaka's examples, and ma nakira tama mubhama's examples. It's a long lesson, by the way. And then Hamza, writing Hamza's rules. That's it. This is what makes sentences. Aba ya aba, fine. So we are learning so many things. Hamza's rules, awshaka, asbaha, and then lam of ibtida, walau, even though, a'ta. Naam, barakallahu feekum. Maybe inshallah we can finish this lesson next class, because we are taking 3 classes, right? Inshallah, let's hope to finish this lesson. Then we will go to ta'adiyya. Now, the next lesson we are learning about ta'adiyya. That is Form 2 and Form 4, it's combined. Right? Form 2 and Form 4, a review of Form 2 and Form 4, as well as the reason for using Form 2 and Form 4. It's used for ta'adiyya. Ta'adiyya means, to transfer something like Zahaba is to go. It's lazim, right? It is in intransitive verb. Zahaba hamid. It doesn't take an object, but I want to say adhaba. So use Form 4 or Form 2. Adhaba hamidun. Hamid sent or Hamid went with tiflan. He'll take a object. So Hamid, sent, you can say sent a child. And so adhaba is used. Idhab, to send someone. And it also used for mubalagha. Mubalagha, like kasara, you want to use Form 2. So kasara. So kasara is to break, but kasara is to smash it into pieces. You want to have intensive meaning, like smash that thing, glass, into pieces. Kasara. So it has that emphasis. Or it could be, this is an intensive action. Or it could be extensive, outside. So you're doing one action, but for multiple times. Like qatala is to kill. So qattala, extensive action. That means you killed, massacred the whole village. Right? Mubalagha. Mumazagha. Jawalu shasha kusirat. Now, okay. Or kusirat. It broke into pieces. Similarly, quttila. So this is intensive action, that the same one thing, it broke into many pieces. And qattala is just one action many times. So the whole village was massacred. Qattala al-mujrimul qaryata. Qattala. So this is why Form 2 is generally used. It's not a 100% rule. It is generally, because you might find like darasa, he learned. So is darasa is to learn with so much energy? No. We look at the dictionary. Now, okay, there are reasons here, but it's not 100%. You'll find exceptions. Exceptions are more common than the rule. Now, because many people ask me this, oh, does Form 10 means to seek forgiveness, to seek all the time? No. Or Form 5. Yes, we can find general patterns, but it is not 100%. You have to memorize the meaning by looking at the dictionary and the context. Like kasara is to break. Right? Kasara doesn't mean to break. Kasara, like darasa is to learn, right? Darasa is to teach. So kasara doesn't mean something is breaking it. No, it means to break into, to get smashed into pieces. Right? Inshallah, we'll learn this in next lesson. Barakallahu feekum. And inshallah, after that, we'll start with Form 3. Form 3 is cooperation. It's like qatala is to kill. Qatala. It's two people fighting. It's not killing, it's fighting. So this alif is of alif of cooperation. And this alif is, two people should do that. Now, two people. So this alif is Form 3. Two people. Generally speaking, it's not 100% again. We cannot apply, but generally, not generally, maybe, I mean, one of the ways is qatala. Mu'awana. Mu'awana means this thing. Form 6 is also cooperation, like ta'awana. Form 6, use ta'awana. Ta'awanu alal birri wa taqwa. Cooperate on bir, good, righteousness and piety. Ta'awanu. Ta'awana yata'awanu, form 6. Ta and alif are added to ain, waw, and noon. This is form 6. So this is a cooperation. Form 3 and form 6 are generally for cooperation. Form 6 is also for acting. Right? Form 6 is acting. Like baka is to cry, right? Tabaka is to act to cry. Right? Tabaka is to act. So this form 6 is also for acting. Tabaka. Like marida is to become sick, but I want to act to become sick. Tamarada. Right? Tamarada Hamidun. Hamid was acting, was pretending to become sick. Pretension. So this form 6 is for pretension also. So we'll learn some reasons here and there, inshallah. Ta'ala, barakallahu fikum, jazakallahu khair, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.